Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Commerce Lab by Ecomcy, the place of a related to Amazon FBA private level and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring another special guest. His name is Igor, and he's the co-founder and CEO of Amazonia PPC, which is one of the agencies out there that specialize on making sure that A cost is as low as possible. This guy knows his game when it comes to PPC, and that's why I wanted to bring Igor to the podcast today because he has a lot of experience when it comes to Amazon. We've been sharing a lot of great memories at different events already. And I just think that, the amount of wisdom he's going to share with you guys today is going to help you navigate all the challenges that we know in 2024 Amazon sellers are experiencing. So, Igor, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How you doing, my friend?
Likewise, Vincenzo. That's a quite a pressure you put on my back right now.
Yeah, now you need to perform.
All the wisdom. Yeah, yeah. No worries. Yeah, thank you.
So,
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to at least meet you online, if not in person again.
yeah, I know. Whenever we meet in person, sometimes it can be dangerous. So I think it's better online.
Yeah, let's keep it at that way.
So now, Igor, so I love, the fact that whenever I had a conversation with you when we went to previous events, you have so many insights when it comes to what is happening in the Amazon space, and whenever we have a conversation, it always go very deep and technical, and that's why I think today I want to focus on how things are changing in terms of listing optimization, A plus PPC. Just do a quick 360 overview about what are some of the things that are really changing and unfortunately cannot be done as we used to when it comes to running an Amazon business. So if you want, before we jump into that, just give us a quick intro about who's Igor, and then of course happy to jump into the topic. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Igor Nuhanovic from Amazonia PPC. I formed the company with my lovely wife in 2014 with Google Ads, and then since 2016 specifically on Amazon PPC. So far, so good. We've been having a pause from recording videos and doing podcasts. So right now, just restarting everything. So really looking forward to share my insights. And to your point that everything is changing so much, but I keep getting surprised how many basics are actually skipped because all the noise about the new fancy tools and AI and everything, which is
Yeah.
good, but we tend to forget so many basics that we are aware of it, but just kind of skip because we are hunting the new hacks.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, you mentioned there's something which we could use that as a starting point of the conversation, like AI. Like it's been this thing that every single conference I go, everybody's talking about AI, which is the new kid on the block, and everybody's saying how it's gonna change the way we do things on Amazon. Which to some extent I agree, but I also feel people is getting too much into the mindset of, oh, I'm gonna fully automate my business and go to the beach and then I'm gonna make millions, which is not reality. So what is your take on that? Like how you see, for example, people doing when it comes to fully automating their PPC with AI? What is your take on that? Yeah.
Um, well, in PPC, I don't think that AI is going to change anything because we've seen it in the past that some of the tools that were bragging about the AI actually end up creating a chaos in campaign structure and not at the end of the day not causing that what they promised. So not in PPC, but in creatives and in listing optimization, it's already changed. So
Mm.
AI is not going to change. It already changed the how we uh, do our things, mostly around listing optimization, because um, nowadays you can easily use ChatGPT or any other to your preference to easily create uh, natives how any native speaker would create product listing like bullet points and
Yeah.
everything. You just input your keywords or semantic keywords or
Mm-hmm.
just properly describe what you want to have as the outcome, number of characters, etc., and then you really can have pretty solid listing. It's not going to be as good as somebody who's a professional would do it, professional copywriter, but still much better than you would do it, like even a few years ago using Google
Yeah.
Translate. So
Yeah.
it's really great stuff. But yeah, I,
Yeah.
I also know there are some people that not too happy about it.
Yeah, because I feel at the end of the day, let's be honest, like AI can definitely help you automate certain things and remove a lot of workload from your shoulders, which again is definitely a perk. But from experience, I feel AI is only driven on numbers and KPIs, which I feel is not really what a person that knows marketing always make decisions on, right? Sometimes you make
Right.
decisions not driven on ACOS or TACOS or conversion rate or things like that. You make decision on strategic plays that I feel go beyond KPIs. It goes from what is my position as a brand in the market. I'm looking to focus more on awareness, or I'm looking more to play a defensive play, or I'm looking more to eat the market share on this specific keyword, which I think that decision making cannot be done by AI, at least as of now, because the AI, the only thing
Right.
it does, oh, ACOS is high, reduce the bid. The ACOS is low, increase the bid. But there is no reasoning behind what happens beyond that, right? The actual brand. So
Right.
I feel maybe you agree with that as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. And for years, I was a proponent of not using any tool at all. So
Mm-hmm.
for years, we were only using spreadsheets and bulk files, doing
Mm-hmm.
everything like in the 19th century still. But our clients loved
There
it
was
because
Amazon
they
there. I didn't know.
yeah, it was, but like a deep web one, you know. So
Good.
for a long period of time, our clients appreciated that because that was the time when the new tools started to go out and everybody was promising too much, you know, to the
Mm-hmm.
point that didn't make any sense. And what you already said, there are very good tools out there that can at least automate the repetitive things that you or your um, the partners don't want to be spending too much on like basic stuff like bid go up, bid go down, depending on various factors. But as you said, no AI can add the seasonality of is there's a for example there was a made in Italy days on Amazon a few weeks ago in May. So you as human knew that you need
Mm-hmm.
to adjust your campaigns, but to input all of those variables in AI, you would actually spend the same amount of time, like you
It's
even
messy.
more than you actually do it in your account. So yeah, it's a mixture. So you're using good tools, reliable ones with experience is a winning strategy.
Awesome. Now, I think we also have to be bringing. I think it's going to be important actually to bring this topic to the table. That we see a lot of the shift in terms of how people shop is going into mobile, and every single time you actually go and do some insight analysis around this, we see how mobile is always the dominant as a device. And I feel a lot of people, unfortunately, don't really do a lot of optimization when it comes to mobile because they may assume, given that most people run the Amazon business from a traditional desktop, that they only focus on the format of how things look on a big screen. But we see that happening all the time. Competitors that really optimize mobile really get a huge advantage on their competition, and that those small things is usually the thing that could create the effect of, oh, I don't know what happened, but suddenly now all my sales are going down and my competitor is getting this huge conversion boost on everything. And usually that could be one
Right,
of the reasons.
right.
So tell us a little bit about how you go around optimizing for mobile.
Yeah, that's actually a great question, and I keep telling people about it. Many sellers are actually skipping to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of inherited issue because we as marketers we use our fancy desktops. We have
Exactly.
two or three or more monitors, you know,
50
and we
screens.
monitor. Yes, everything is so big, but sellers also tend to do that because they're behind their laptop optimizing everything. And when the designer team sends them images, they actually
Mm-hmm.
preview them on desktop and then completely forgetting how it looks on mobile. And what we should be doing more is that similar to what Google does, they really force like mobile first
Nice.
optimization, even for a website. When your code on a website is written in a way that mobile comes first in a code, and
Mhm.
then afterwards you have your desktop
Yeah.
options and CSS and everything. Google actually promotes your website higher in the search results. So that's the approach that we should also follow on Amazon because myself having a Google background, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to any reporting that Amazon can give us. For example, on Google Analytics, like even 10 years ago, you could see not the exact amount of traffic that you receive from mobile, but actually the device type, like is it an
Exactly.
iPhone, this or that, and the resolution, so you can really narrow your decision making. Like I want to optimize for this mobile resolution because most of my buyers actually use that kind of device. While we don't have that on Amazon, we the only thing closest to that by a long shot is that we enable those mobile app sessions in business reports, and then can see that most of the accounts actually have uh, 60% coming from mobile app and 40% from the other kind of browsers.
Hmm.
Uh, but even if we don't have that anywhere available in Server Central, just we should use common sense, like everybody's using mobile phones while we wait
Exactly.
for our kids in kindergarten. Even when we are in the toilet, unfortunately, everybody's on mobile. So even if we don't
That's
have
good.
any data, we can assume that most of the traffic comes from mobile. And
Yeah.
there's a cool feature in any browser, Chrome or Firefox, that you can actually enable
Mm.
the developer tools and simulate how your page looks like on mobile. So you don't have to actually grab your phone every now and then to check your listings.
Yeah.
But when we do that, then we actually realize that either our fonts on the listings are too small or not visible, or everything is skewed and really doesn't send the image because doesn't send any information. On mobile, people are basing their decisions on images, not on like
Yeah.
fancy text. And you could spend your money on good A+ content for desktop, but when you view it on mobile, then you get disappointed.
Exactly. Exactly. Now,
So yeah.
something I wanted to ask about this, because when it comes to mobile, another thing I feel maybe people don't do very often as well is also from the perspective of so you mentioned there how the images look on the device and everything, but I know there are some tricks there are to make the image look bigger, for example, compared to your competitors in terms of the ratio, the size and everything. And even from a color perspective, sometimes we see if you change the order, like let's say everybody goes the order from left to right in terms of the position of the object, changing
Yeah.
it around or changing the contrast of the images. Like, is there a checklist that you like to go through in terms of what are some of the elements that drive conversion that you can share, like in terms of what you usually see driving the conversion the highest in this device?
Yeah, in terms of click-through rate and differentiating yourself from the competition, there's no actual list
Mm,
because it varies so much that you
yeah.
cannot actually write it. But in terms of conversion optimization, yeah, definitely there are things to be mentioned and followed in every instance. Because, for example, we had a seller who was selling some industrial equipment for 3D printers. So believe me, first three pages, all the main images are the same. You
Mm,
literally cannot think of any other main image to put on to
yeah.
differentiate yourself. So it's really crazy, but that's a industry category, where engineers come and they look at the numbers of like how precise is the actual filament and that sort of stuff. So it's not about uh, it's not impulse buy, as in
Yeah.
consumables or gifts.
Makes sense.
But in terms of conversion rate optimization, yeah, it's actually shameful that it's so simple. Some simple facts like just increase your text, change the color, put a
Hmm.
background to your fonts because it's just not visible. So
Yeah.
and every each time that each one of us actually pays attention, then it really feels stupid that we miss that,
Yeah.
because yeah, I can maybe share a checklist for you to put in the description, but overall
Yeah.
it just I cannot name them all because when I usually
It varies.
take a look at the
Yeah.
listing, then actually you can make quite an improvement whenever you try. Actually, everybody can do the exercise.
Cool. Now jumping back to PPC, right? So when it comes from a PPC perspective, like we see all the time, the way people recommend optimizing is been shifting in the way like for example, let's focus very quickly on launch. Like people say when launching, I only focus on sponsored products, and then exact match. And then when it comes to optimization, I try to focus more on the conversion rate I get from brand analytics and things like that. So I know there's many methodologies of doing this if you
Right.
launching, maintaining, or liquidating, and so on. But just to keep it brief and high level, like what are some of the main changes you see that it's not like it used to be? It could be from a negation point of view, from a bidding point of view, from a keyword distribution point of view. Is there something that you feel people keep doing, but still like 2014, 15, which is not, it shouldn't be done like that anymore nowadays?
Something that people keep doing
Yeah, that is
that,
wrong.
yeah, so many things actually.
Let's,
Um,
for example, something I can bring to the table, and I'm curious to
yeah,
hear your take on this, is how people do negation. There's this big stigma that people say, oh, when you take a keyword from broad phrase and not move it to exact, you should negate the keyword. Or people say you
yeah,
shouldn't now because you get lower CPC and more optimal placement. So, for example, I know back in the days it's all about negating. If you move from one campaign to another, it's negation. But now people, that's not the case. Do you agree,
yeah.
for example, with this kind of statement? Your guys.
Well, in PPC, from my experience so far, uh, there are no general rules. Because I keep surprising myself by what I see. For example, I was looking at the account, so completely not by the books. So campaign structure, like all the like couple thousands of SKUs in one auto
Yeah.
campaign, all match types together, no negation, no anything. um, one campaign with down only, three campaigns completely same structure. One has down only bidding strategy, one has up and down, and one has fixed bids. That's it. Three campaigns, each three or 4,000 products inside.
Yeah.
um, and the results are amazing.
Mm,
Like 3% of ACOS. It's
yeah.
craziness. And you actually see that even that kind of strategy can work in terms of profitability and ACOS, if you like. um, uh, but still, something that people still keep on missing is that having a proper campaign structure for growth
Mm,
in the future. Okay,
mm,
it's nice to have a campaign set up in a minute, just like when you install a
mhm,
program like next. But eventually, what you end up having is the campaign structure that's preventing you to control the spend and the investment, and then to further grow. And then when you hire some professional, they need to, like, not destroy everything, but
yeah, yeah.
make so many changes just to get to a point that you can actually control what's happening in your account. So yeah, and online, I just keep hearing those questions like structuring the campaigns for optimization and for growth.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, still hot topic after so many years, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, I know. And now another thing that I have also noticed from a strategy perspective when it comes to PPC, people I feel they also leverage the full spectrum of what they can do with sponsor ads, right? They only say on sponsor products, but let's be honest, like for example, with sponsor display now, this so powerful type of campaign, which is pro targeting, which is sponsor display, which is under the buy box, under the bullet points. Now you can even do videos under the bullet points of your competitors. Like
Correct.
and I see people not leveraging this kind of ads. Like what is your take on that? Do you really feel people should be investing more into going sponsor brand, sponsor display, as long as they do it properly, or you see a huge believer that where the money is sponsor products?
The money is in sponsored products, but if you're not utilizing the other campaign types, you're leaving money on the table.
Mm,
Also, I've seen some of the accounts that sponsored display is doing a terrible job. And the other
mm-hmm,
hand, yeah, there's sponsored displays having the best possible performance compared to the other types. But I think that that's the case because now, when you mention product launches, now obviously more and more people are getting educated that for product launch you need to focus on single keyword campaigns in exact and bid on your most important keywords for a month or two, forget about ACOS and total
Mm-hmm.
ACOS for months, and just invest for organic positions. And then people gonna get used to it, like only sponsor product, that's what influence the ranking, and completely neglecting sponsor brands and sponsor display, like it doesn't matter because it doesn't influence ranking that much, and in that way as sponsor products. So I think that's the main reason why people are neglecting that campaign types, in my
Yeah,
opinion, because it doesn't
awesome.
help the ranking.
Yeah. Now, we also see when it comes to, so we already talked about, for example, optimization of listing. We've been talking high level about PPC. I feel something that I also want to bring to the table a little bit, which has always been a hot topic, is external traffic. Like we see that being a hot, influencer marketing, doing things with Google, doing things with YouTube. What is your take on that? Like from your experience, do you really feel when an Amazon seller is struggling, this could be a good vertical for them to explore? Or you feel it's always better to put all your efforts into PPC, and eventually if you have some residual revenue, you should go and look for solution outside of Amazon.
I've seen tremendous success for brands utilizing external traffic,
Mm,
specifically influencers from Instagram.
okay.
Uh, I've also seen that it's too expensive. If you, for example, go on Google, and Google is, as we know, the search platform, research
Yeah.
platform. So somebody typing the same keyword on Amazon has a buying intent, while on Google it could be just some little kid looking for
Yeah.
Jordans, you know.
Yeah.
So depending on the category and product type, it can be too expensive because you end up paying high cost per click on top of the funnel, instead on
Yeah.
Amazon where that could be middle funnel or a lower funnel, you know.
Yeah.
um, so that's the important difference. And it's worth noting that every seller, every brand should actually determine, if not by themselves, ask a professional. They shouldn't be building brand awareness on Amazon, like just starting and invest in so many like awareness campaigns on Amazon. They can, but it's not that effective. So instead, I would use that money, at least for at the beginning, and invest that in an influencer marketing, where you will see a flood of traffic to your listings, and eventually everything is gonna kickstart pretty good for you if that's the product for you. Because if it's a completely new product with some, it's not an upgraded version of something. It's not a self-speaking microphone. Everybody knows a microphone, but if it's something out of the ordinary, and you will need to educate the audience about it, then it's madness to invest too
Yeah.
much money on PPC and in launching, while you should focus on external traffic. And
Yeah, for sure,
yeah.
for sure. And now, what is your take now that we're talking about external traffic, about going omni-channel, like exploring other marketplaces, such as, for example, Walmart in the US, TikTok Shop, how you D2C. I feel, especially in 2024, the days of only relying on Amazon as being the main source of your business is actually very risky, because we know how Amazon is getting more competitive, fees are going up, they can shut you down at any time. So I see big brands shifting into other verticals as well. So from your experience, like, is this something at the end of the day that you see a lot of brands getting a lot of return on their investment, at least from the span of time they've been doing it so far? Or you feel like for most people, realistically, they should still keep focusing only on Amazon?
Yeah, my take on that is always, um, Amazon should be only one marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And I keep also advising brand owners to have a website at least,
Mm-hmm.
because so
Yeah.
many of them concentrated on Amazon, and they're having a great business there, but they don't even have a website, believe it or
Yeah.
not. And you can have that
Nice.
like in 30 seconds created by AI,
Yeah. Well,
as we
yeah.
saw in, what
Yeah.
was it in London, that
In
Steve
London. Yeah.
Simonson presented, like
Yeah. Yeah.
30
Yeah.
seconds and you have a website, literally.
Yeah.
So to your point, having a brand, actually, just not sell stuff on Amazon, having a brand is number one. also to increase the actual conversion rate, you should have a website. If, for example, when I shop and wanted to invest a certain amount of money, and I'm not that sure that that's actually a quality product, or if the actual brand has not that many reviews, that I don't know, 10 or 20 or 30, those can be faked, unfortunately. So I go online and search for a brand. If I see them on Ball, on Kaufmax in Germany or anywhere else, then immediately I'm in. But
Yeah.
if I don't see anything and just see the results from the search page on Amazon, then it's like, yeah, they're okay, the reviews are fine, probably. But on the other hand, if the case was that they at least have a website, and you go on a website and you see the team, you see the manufacturing process, whatever you name it, then
Yeah.
it's a completely different story. So some of our um, clients in the past, I hate saying clients, but they were a client in the past,
Hmm.
really they've seen a lot of success on many other
Nice.
marketplaces, because eventually they became a brand, they became an actual company, not just
No,
seller,
it's not a
with all due
product.
respect. Yeah.
Exactly. Cool, Igor. I mean, I think we have covered quite a lot. I know there's still so many things that we can touch on, and that's why I wanna leave this last question open for you. Like, in terms of everything we have covered, is there anything else you feel we haven't touched on that you're just thinking, I need to say this because I think it's gonna, help a lot of sellers out there? Is there anything else you wanna share?
Yeah. For example, I like to recommend a book. The
Okay.
book went out in 2000, year 2000, and it's
Nice.
called "Don't Make Me Think" from
Mm,
Stephen Krug, Krug. Steve Krug. Don't make me think. The book is about website optimization, and overall, it completely aligns with what we need to be doing on Amazon, because we all see that Amazon is now shifting like the experience towards it's like a website experience for visitors.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the book is great. Not just this book, but any book on user experience is useful, because you can actually see and realize it's kind of when you read that book, you actually realize it perfectly makes sense. You don't want anybody landing on your website or your product listing page and scroll and don't understand what should I do, what should I read about. You should
Mm,
design your whole A plus. The point of A plus is not to have it and like it's going to
yeah.
do the magic trick. The A plus should drive your visitor towards the end, towards the actual purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend just going to the good old books, actually, because they
Awesome.
they contain tremendous amount of knowledge. Because online, you and I, we need to keep this podcast as short as possible and concise because of the attention span, but
Exactly.
the books don't
Right.
have that limitation. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
my
That's
go-to.
great. I'm gonna put it down in the notes for all of you guys. So, Igor, it's pleasure as usual. Thank you so much. And for those that may
Likewise.
want to reach out to you in case you're working with you, how people can find you.
They can Google us, Amazonia PPC. They will find us almost anywhere. So yeah, we'll leave the link in the description, but just Amazonia PPC. Hop on our website. There's a chat option. There's a phone call option, message, whatever. We're gonna
Awesome.
respond pretty quickly, like in a minute or two, usually.
Wow, that's very good. I love it. Cool, Igor. So thank you so much. Can't wait to meet you again at upcoming events. And in the meantime, I appreciate your time. Yeah, have an amazing rest of the week. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Vincenzo. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you.